Okay, there we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is you're going to cut some decorative flaps. Now for me, let me see, and I even kind of wrote down, like, by the way, the metallics for this, which are just the same for the front. So I wrote it on my little thing just so I wouldn't forget. So the first thing that you're going to do is put on the flaps, because then we're going to get another piece. This is going to go on the inside, and it's going to glue down so that way we don't have to necessarily see the edges. I'm not sure which way is up. This looks like it's up to me. And you want to think about where things are going to be. So this is actually the back, as you know. So this is all going to fold up like this, this, and like this. Sorry, like this. All right, so it goes like this. And then if you flip it over, this is going to be the top. And you want to keep that in mind when you're putting on your, when you're gluing it down, because it's, well, I guess you can choose which way you want it to open, but keep in mind what way the image has to be, so that way it looks cohesive going around the folio. But anyway, so this is the top and this is the bottom of the inside. So just kind of keep, I don't know, keep reminding yourself of the orientation, I guess. So from here, I have, you need, oops, sorry. You need 2 of these for the flaps. And these are actually, let me just check, 6.5 is what it says. So, yep, 2 pieces of 6.5 by 3.5. And we're going to score 2 scores of 1/4 an inch and then 1/2 an inch. And you'll see the reason why is because we have the step there, and I want it to be flush with it once it's all together, if that kind of makes sense. So, oh, I have one piece that is cut on the back, and then the other is not. So let me see if I can find another piece that has a back piece to it. All right, I'm just going to use that one, just because. Okay, so, all right, what did I say it needed to be? Let's see, what's it say? 6.5 by 3.5, and we need 2 of them, because this is just going to be like a little gatefold type of situation. So let's cut it lengthwise first. I'm going to cut up to the butterfly's wing, at least on this one. And then I'm going to measure it to 6.5. So I want to make sure I get those butterflies in there. 6.5. And it is 3.5 for one. That one's 3.5. Yeah, I really don't like using these, but we're just going to fly with it right now. Here, that's one side. And then I'm going to do it like this to cut off that part. And 3.5 here. So that way it'll be like that, ultimately. All right, so now we got to do our scoring. And I got to score at, let me see, I need to score at 1/4. So first one is at 1/4, the next one is at 1/2. So 1/4 and 1/2. like that. And then this is going to be on the opposite side. 1/4 and then 1/2. Because remember, you got to do one on one side, one on the other, because it's going to go like that ultimately is what it's going to do. It's going to be kind of like a little interactive. I mean, it's already interactive, but hopefully you guys see what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I don't always make the best sense. I realize that. Okay, so then you're just going to burnish the score lines. And the reason why we did the 2 score lines is because we want that depth that's going to meet up with the depth of our box. So when it sits in there, it should sit flush. That's the plan anyway, guys. So just so you kind of know where my thinking is, that's just what I want to do. Sometimes I have trouble with the smaller score lines if it's really close. All right, so if you want to do distressing, now would be the time. Where did I do? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to do a little bit of distressing. Let me just think about something for a second. I'm just trying to think about it. I might want to round the corners. I want to think about that before I actually do the distressing, the inking. Okay. Yeah, I might round the corners. Just because, I don't know. I guess I don't have a actual good reason. Just because. That's all I got. All right, let's see. I'm using a corner rounder. I'm using the bigger one. Did it come out? All right. I have 2 of these. This one's my not so good one. All right. Now I'm going to distress. If you want to, you can miter here. I might go ahead and do that. Just up to the first score line. Like that for both of them. There we go. Just taking the white edges off. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure it was still recording. Wherever else you want the distressing. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, there we go. So now we're going to put that down. Put one side down first. Just so you know, this is how it will ultimately look. And then the other side will be down like this. And you'll flip it up, is the plan. So it's going to have like its little, a little hidden area, if that makes sense. Let me just open this up kind of like this a little bit further. There we go. So it's a little flatter. Right. Okay, yeah. Just had to make sure I was the right side up. This stuff. There we go. Here is one. You just want to make sure it is level and centered as best as you can onto the side there. Using my bone folder, and I'm just pressing it down in there. Let's see, like that. Forgot to make another 1/4 inch. And there we go. So it'll go like that. Okay. All right, and we're going to take a short break because my phone's going to die, and we'll come back and finish this up. All right, guys, we're back. You guys won't believe this, but when I cut it off last time, I said we're going to take a break because my phone's going to die, and then right then it died. I was just like, and I had no idea when it was going to die because the phone is actually up here and I'm sitting, so I can't see where it's at. So anyway, that worked out very well, thankfully. All right, so where did I leave off? Okay, so what I want to do for this, and it will only stabilize it, especially where I made this extra score mark that I shouldn't have. I should have just stuck with my original, but oh well, it's fine. So I have the deco papers that are gonna go for these things. Oh, and I cut this deco paper. This is gonna go on the inside of the flap, okay? So hopefully you guys can still see all of this. All right, let me move these out of the way. That's my little washies. All right, and then I have my little notes that I had taken. All right, so this piece that's going to go on this flap is 3 15/16 by 7. And oh man, look how nice this side. You know, I had so much trouble with picking what sheets I wanted to use because they were so, all of them are just so freaking beautiful. Like, that is really nice. But so is this. And it even goes with, well, they all go together. but I think since I'm just going with it. I'm not changing it now. So I'm going to distress this. So yeah, this is 3 and 15/16 by 7. This is going to go here. Actually, you guys, I don't know. All right. This is the one time that I wish maybe I was doing a live and then you guys could talk back to me. But if I did this, would it be cute if I turn these into like little pockets where I put the little slits in here and then I can tuck something in here, or put a little slit and then a round like thumb notch and then the slit continues, so it's like you can do them that way, or I could just make this whole thing into like a pocket here, or a long pocket, or just keep this as is. I think I'll just keep it as is. I don't want to start complicating because we still have to get through the rest of the folio. See, that's my problem, is I'll start going a direction and think, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have an idea or something and I'm gonna do something or another. Then I'll start going that way and then I'll change my mind, like, oh, what about if I did this or this? And because of that, it takes me forever to do pretty much almost anything. So we're going to glue this down. Hopefully you guys can still see that. All right, that's good. Gluing down. Throw this away. And I still have to decide if I'm going to put the metallic on the little border edge of the box that we made. I'm still thinking about it. I think I'll maybe decide I'll wait all the way up till the end and then see how it looks. But I think ultimately I will decide to put that on just because it will go with the rest of it pretty nicely. Okay, where's my bone folder? Burnish this down. Yeah, you guys can do so much. There is so much that you can do with Maze Kit. Like, I can't even emphasize that enough. Because clearly the possibilities are endless. All right. So for the flaps on in here, I want to decorate those with a little bit of purple. I'm going to use the and I already distressed and cut these out. So you're going to need 2 of them if you're going to do it like me. And then that will also reinforce where I kind of accidentally put that extra fold. So it's going to go like this ultimately and be just, a little decoration on the inside. And these are 2 and 15/16 wide. So again, if you're following me, you'll need 2 of them. 2 and 15/16 wide by 6 and 3/8 high. So that's for that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and glue that in. So you'll see just a little bit of an edge, but not a lot. Nothing crazy. I should have just at least left this on its side, maybe. Yeah, I really think that I'm gonna try to go for one of those glue stands and try it out, because maybe it'll be great, Like I said, I've never tried them, so you never know until you try. I guess that's where saying like that would come into play. so for me, I'm going to try to delicately put this on here because I can't like flatten it in either direction really. Just trying to see that it looks somewhat okay. And then let's glue this side down. Okay. Did it do better to leave it on? I think it did. It doesn't have as far to travel, I think, when I left it on its side. Although it could have ended badly, guys, because I just thought of this, but it could have just started leaking out on my desk. Could put a silicone mat under it if that were the case, but I don't know. I'll get my act together one day, guys. Trust me. One day. That's handy. Oops. Butterfingers. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. All right, so that and that. Not bad. And then, of course, that. Pretty cute. All right. And those little magnets actually really work very well. I was very actually doubtful, I will admit that. Okay, so then this is going to go in here. And this piece, what is this piece? Hold on, guys. I'll just measure it. I thought I wrote it down to make it simple on myself, but I am not exactly seeing it. Okay, so this is, oops, I just moved it, of course. 3 3/8 by 6 7/16. All right, and I'm just going to glue this down. So these are flaps that we put in, and this is just going to go right over the top, like so. Go. So, and you can use whatever type of adhesive that you like. I'm using glue because if for me, I need that extra playtime just because I am not like a naturally good gluer. I don't know how to say that, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying or what I mean. Yeah, all right, there we go. All right, so now this is one of May's pockets. And for me, on the pocket, I scored where the score mark is, but then I put another 1/8. I want to make sure that this is 1/8. Yeah, 1/8 of a score mark in on both sides. So you follow the normal score mark like this, and then I did an extra 1/8. And I did that so that way once it's all in there, it will just slightly have a little bit of room and pop up. It won't be the height of this because I want these to be able to shut. And then I want to be able to put stuff in there, obviously. But, so that's kind of what I did. So we're going to glue this in there. So this is going to go in there basically like that. That's my plan for this. Okay, sorry. I have, oh, there's like a bubble or glue piece on the top. All right, and I've already distressed, by the way, all of you can tell already, obviously. I think I said that. I can't remember, but yeah. But you can also see that I've distressed it. Okay, and we're just going to put glue on the actual tab piece that May has made. We want the extra piece to just be for giving it a little bit of room to put things in, because we have 1/4 of an inch depth of our pocket, so we can put some stuff in there. That's my plan anyway. So there we go. I'm putting it all the way to the bottom, and then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to kind of put it in there and push it down. So it should have some like enough room that it kind of pops up in there. And then this will shut on top of it like that. And then of course, this closes over the whole thing. So that's that. And it has like a little hidden thing, and you can put anything. Honestly, there is just, like I said, there's just so much you can do in this kit. Like, I'm crazy about it. And this is going to be such an awesome little, for me, I'm doing a prayer folio, but by all means, you guys, possibilities are completely endless. You could put little tucks, like I said. You can put photos in here, a little prayer spot, other little pockets. I mean, something entirely different instead of a pocket here. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. And so far, this is what we have, guys. Just gonna. Also, I wanted to say that I just went ahead and just very lightly lifted this part up and put a magnet underneath. So I'll try to include that in my video when I edit it, to a little reminder to put this magnet down before you put this panel down on the folio. And then of course I put a magnet here. This is going to be covered with some decorative paper here, but when it's done it will snap together like so. And this is where we are at so far, guys, with our folio, like this. And it's gonna sit better once we're done, because we're gonna add the inside elements, I should say, because right now it just wants to go back and forth because there's nothing on the inside. Of course, our little secret pocket here that we've made, and there we are. So we are going to today put the gusseted pockets. That's what I'm calling them. Maybe there's an actual term that I'm not aware of. Also, I saw this. I have a, let me see if I can show you guys, like a little pouch that I have of my cutoffs or my scraps. And I try to save the pieces because you never know, such as this. I could use this, and so I had gone ahead and I cut this to size for the top of this little part. which I think is absolutely beautiful. I can give you, let me give you the dimensions of this. This is 3 11/16 by 6 5/8 is the longest part. And then I just basically I just put this down. I followed the curve when I drew it, and then I cut it out so that way it would fit in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that down. And also, guys, just so you know, I got one of these today, so we're gonna be giving that a try. It's supposed to be where I could just set it down, it's not gonna clog, and it just stays ready to go. Also, I've done some distressing around just a little bit to darken the edge a little bit there. Do I want to glue this yet? I'm gonna wait just in case, because I might want to do something different with this closure. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it, guys. Still thinking about it. Sometimes I just chew on ideas for a while. All right, so let's get on to the gusseted pockets, which are gonna go inside this flap here. So it's gonna flap open like this, and then we're gonna put our gusseted pockets here. All right, so bear with me, guys, because I have notes and notes for days. So if you want to see the notes, let me see if I can try to give you a solid background to look at it, and maybe you can screenshot it. There we go. If you want to screenshot it, that's my notes. Hopefully you can follow them, but I wrote the notes mostly for myself to remind me. Otherwise I just won't remember. So there's going to be a total of 4 pockets. I'm just going to set my notes here. They're going to be approximately a ½ inch apart, so it's going to kind of go down in that kind of fashion. And for me, you can do whatever you like, of course, but for me, I ended up, oops, so there's 4 total. Let me just see if I can. So there's 4 of them total, and they're gonna kind of go staggered like that. So for me, I wanted to do, I think I talked about this the last time, I wanted to do where basically once you line up all the pockets, it will look like one image. If you can kind of see where I'm going with it, or my desire. Hopefully it will turn out like that. That's the hope, but you know, sometimes when you're crafting, it doesn't. So what you would want to do is just print out multiple of the same image. So for this particular pocket, gusset pocket arrangement, I just picked this image because it's really beautiful. And we're gonna just go ahead and start. Now for the pockets, I am thinking that I'm gonna want magnets to kind of snap them closed at the top. So it's gonna go like this, maybe glued down pockets. It's gonna pinch together on the underside, if that makes sense. And then this will be down. And I want to put magnets on the inside so that way this, like one here and one here on the inside, so it will like snap down. Just hopefully that makes sense. But that's kind of what I'm going for. And then when I want to use it, I'll just snap it open, and then it'll snap back down and keep it pretty flat, relatively flat, for the most part. When I did my prototype, I didn't actually put this all together. I just started, and then I'm like, yeah, you know, let's just go for it. So it's gonna go like that, and then the next one, this is number 2. Trying to hold this down while grabbing this one. This is number 2. It'll go like that. And it will keep going all the way down for 2 more. And then this is going to go down over the top of it. what I might do, and that's kind of the whole reason why I haven't glued this part down yet, is I might either do a magnet where it snaps down to the very top, which would be the last one here, or I might do a button closure and have a button here and a button here, and it just kind of winds around, or whatever. You know, this is your guys' project. Of course, do it however you like, you know, to suit your needs or your wants. This is number 2. Okay, so for the number 1 pocket, you're gonna need you're gonna have to start with a piece that is 9 15/16 by 6 1/2 high. This is the larger pocket, so keep that in mind. So 9 15/16 by 6 1/2 high. So let me go ahead and grab some paper. I'm gonna go with basically I'm gonna go with neutrals for the background pages, images that are in the kit, just so that way it will kind of flow really nicely. I thought I had some other background pages just printed, but I don't think I did. So a question might be, this is actually just regular copy paper, and that might cut down on the volume of or the thickness in between. Let's just see. I think it might be too weak though. So let's just go with regular cardstock. And we'll go from there with the cardstock. I could just go ahead and use this. But for purposes, demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show you the first cut. So it's going to be 9 15/16 on the longest part. So like right here. We can save that. And then 6 1/2 is going to be 6 1/2. It's going to be the actual height of the pocket. Okay. Then get your scoreboard out. Just setting it on top of here. And just move this over. Okay, so on the long side, we have to score at 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, and 6. So let's go ahead and do that. So on the long side, score at 4, 4 1/2, 5, 5 1/2, and 6. so on the long side, okay? We'll go ahead and burnish those. It's gonna be like a gusset, so it's gonna be like, it'll make like, I don't know, depending on what side you're looking at it from, it'll make either a W or it will make an M, depending on whatever side makes sense to you. So that's pretty much what you're gonna do. So you'll score one way, and then you'll flip it and score the opposite way, and then you'll flip it again to go the other direction, and that's how it goes. And then you flip it again the other direction to go the opposite way, like that. And then one last time, the opposite direction. So whatever you need to say to yourself to walk yourself through that, that's what you're going to end up with, like a W or an M, depending, like I said, whatever way makes sense to you. So that's going to be that gusset side. That's one side. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to align these just as is. So you might want to just align this part, this side of the page, this edge, and get some little clippies or whatever it is that helps you kind of hold it there. I'm just going to grab some of these clips. Just want to align that edge like that. Okay, so from here what you're going to want to do is, for your pockets, you're going to make some sort of, for me, I mean, you don't have to do this, you could make your pocket shapes whatever shape you want, but I kind of wanted to do a nice rounded, big rounded arch shape. So whatever design you want to do, just line up your pockets, or at least what I did for mine to kind of put the shape in there, is I lined up my pockets, line them up so this is flattened out, and then you're going to cut them at one time, at once, both the front of the pocket and the back of the pocket, so that way they're cut in exactly the same shape, of whatever shape you decide to use. So let's see here, let me put a couple more clips so it's not just in the way. So whatever it is, find yourself something and then decide, okay, I'm going to have this be in this certain shape, and then from there on do all of your pockets the same way. So for my little arch, I'll say, I started from a mark that is 4 1/8 from the bottom, is where I started my arch. So you'll take your ruler from the bottom. For me, I ended up making a mark at 4 1/8, so right here. So I made a little mark. I know it's hard to see with all the distressed background and stuff, but so from here going all the way up to this corner, I made an arch, if that makes sense. So just get yourself something to make an arch, whatever it might be. Let me see if I can find something. Maybe it might have circle template would help me. Let me move this down out of the way. Okay. You just want something just to kind of go all the way up to the top and start from the mark. So if it goes off there and it starts here. So I made little mark here of where I'm starting on my template that I'm using to cut, and then I'm just going to go all the way up to the top. So like that, and then it goes off to the top like that. And so what you would do then, holding this together, you would just cut along that edge as best you can. I really suck at cutting any kind of circle, half circle, whatever. If it has to do with any kind of arch, I usually struggle, but let's struggle together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut. So there we go, guys. Make sure you're cutting through both papers, because as you just seen, when I started cutting, I actually missed my bottom paper and I had to start again. So yeah, just find yourself a template, whatever it is. If you're going to be playing along and doing it like me, just try to get it that you use the same one for all the pockets after that. That way you get the same curve. I guess that's what I'm going for anyway. But like I said, you don't have to do this. You could do whatever shape you like. You don't even have to shape them if you don't want to. You could put just square ones and then just put little thumb notches, or maybe get really fancy, do like a decorative lacy border, or what are those scissors, the decorative scissors you could cut. That'd be really pretty, you know, like let me see if I have some. I'll show you. Like this is Paper Shapers. Provo Craft is I guess the brand, but it makes this kind of shape. So let's see if I can get one of the other ones to show you. So I just did this one. Where's my big one? Ah, it's right here, pretty much in front of my face. So if we wanted to do this, it would pretty much go Alright, so if you wanted to do like a decorative edge like that, it would pretty much go like that. And then, I don't know if you can see that. Let me move some of this stuff, so hopefully you can kind of see it a little bit better. So does that show up on the dark? Hopefully it does. So it would kind of go like that. And depending on your scissors or border dies or whatever it is, and then you would just, whatever it is for your paper, you would do it the same. And so you'd cut it, you know, so then it'd go and it would just match the same type of, I don't know what to call it, rhythm. But anyway, that's just the example, guys, just the example. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting this together, and you wanna do that for all four. And you just follow the directions for each one that I laid out for you. So let's start putting this together. I'm just going to go ahead and use these ones that I pre-cut out just to kind of keep the film a little shorter. Alright, so now for this one, I'm going to need a gusset for this side that is 4.5 inches high by 2 inches wide. So let's see. see how long this is. 2 inches wide. Yep, that'll work. By 4 1/8 long. So 4 1/8. I usually don't like to cut when it's just use the measurements on this side, as you guys know, but that's okay. 4 1/8. And it should line up to right where that, from the bottom where the arch will start. And we're gonna put another gusset on this side, so when it closes, it's gonna have that gusset there. So for that, we're going to scar. We're gonna score on the 2 inch side. We're gonna score at 1/2, 1, and 1 1/2. Okay, so 1/2, 1, and 1 1/2. Remember, the whole thing is to make the M. So I'm going to start by folding this in half, just like this. And then I'm going to fold this score line the opposite direction, and this score line the opposite direction. Okay. And then that is going to go in there like that. We're going to glue it together like that. So first, let's just go ahead and do some distressing. If you would like, if you're playing along with me, I'm going to do a little bit of distressing for this, and then I will be right back. Actually, I got to do the other hinge. So then we're going to need one more hinge that's going to be for the bottom here, and it has to be 3 15/16. So let's go ahead and measure that by 1 wide. 3 15/16 long, longest part. By 1. Okay. Three 15/16. Just cutting where my mark is. All right, and then by 1. Just using the cutter to measure that one by 1. Okay. So then with this piece that you just cut, you're just going to score at half. So on the 1 inch side, sorry guys, on the 1 inch side, you're going to score at half, right down the middle. Like that. Oop. Has to go the other way, because this is going to be on the outside, this decorative piece, and so you want to fold it toward the bump when you've scored something like that. Okay, so then it ends up like that. So now we're going to take our pieces, or I'm going to take my pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and do some edging, distress edging, and I will be right back.